Hey, it's Nikki Thompson, and you are listening to Tea with Nikki. Embrace your wild woman. And today I really wanted to talk about how we need to give ourselves some space, because when we put so much pressure on ourselves, when everything around us is very emotional, we can often lead ourselves down the wrong path. We can start making the wrong decisions out of fear and desperation, and we can just exhaust ourselves to the point of breakdown. And I think this is such an important topic because there's so much going on right now, and yet it's January, it's the start of the year, and people are like, okay, brand new year, brand new me, rah, rah, rah. And it's just people are feeling as though they have to be pushing ahead and making leaps and bounds in their own careers or their own finances or in their own fitness. And it's so overwhelming. And I feel as though people are going to crash and burn a lot more than if they give themselves the time to recover. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today on this episode. I was speaking at an event on the weekend. Now, this event was for teachers in Queensland who have lost their jobs because of the current mandates. And I fall into that category. So I was teaching. I've been a teacher for over a decade, and I was teaching part-time and lost my job because of the mandates, because I don't want to get the vaccine. And that has been challenging, just there's lots of reasons why. And this was an amazing space of people who came together, who I'm excited to be surrounded by, because it has felt extremely lonely. It's felt extremely lonely with people around me not knowing what's going on, and feeling as though I can't say it because there's some kind of shame story around that for others, not for me. I'm quite proud of it. I'm owning that, my stance on this and what I believe and what I want for my own body and for those around me. So as a mum, it's more important than ever for me to make the right decision around my health and well-being so that I can support my family. And being around these incredible people on the weekend made me really reflect, and I was presenting. And I went there with a couple of points that I really wanted to cover. But when I got there, my intention was really to support these people. And what did I need to say to support these people? And I started talking about how we need to give ourselves this space. We don't have to just run out and start developing our dream business, because that's what a lot of people are doing, and it looks like a lot of people are doing. And we might be sitting here thinking, holy crap, I don't know what it is that I even want to be doing. I've just been through this traumatic thing, losing your job, and the way that the world is different. Everything changed immediately. And it's been really hard. I've really struggled with that. And so I have this feeling of just sharing this story, because a lot of the women that were coming up to me afterwards, and men, there were both men and women there, were coming up and sharing their story as well. And it made me feel like when we feel like we're not alone, it's easier to move through. So I wanted to share my story because I feel as though it's one of those things that it's difficult to share right now. It's difficult to share because I feel as, so many people are out, and I'm getting so many messages right now actually from people who came to the event. But it's difficult to talk about it because we can feel quite isolated. But by seeing all of the movement that's happening, we can start to make some momentum once we have our rest, once we can recalibrate, once we have our energy back, once we have had a breath, because our whole world just changed. And no matter what transition you're going through, no matter what's happening for you at the moment, if you're going through some significant transition, our whole world could be flipped upside down, And we're just expected and encouraged to just keep going forward, just keep plowing forward, keep going. Let's rebuild right now. Let's do it right now. And it's like so overwhelming, and we can really crush our energy by trying to push through so hard. And we can really feel like we're just going to make decisions out of fear and desperation because we are scared. We're scared that if we don't make decisions right now, that we're going to be too late, that if we don't make decisions right now, that what's going to happen to me, and obviously financially and all of those types of things can be really challenging. So I was talking to these people about taking a breath, and also knowing that you may have a vision in your mind about a business that you want to build. Absolutely. I am absolutely the number one person here cheering you on in doing that. But we also can know that we don't have to rely solely on our passion at the start to pay all of our bills. We can get a different job. We can do something else to kind of bring in the income to ease our stress levels in the meantime of building up our passion, our vision for the life that we want to live. And that can be really hard. I remember when I first started my business 9 years ago. So I was actually 8 months pregnant with my son, and he's about to turn 9 in a couple of weeks. And so it was 9 years ago, and I was building my business, and I'm like seeing all these women and men building their businesses, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how are they doing this? They're making all this money and I'm not doing that, and how are they doing this? And I felt like, oh gosh, I really need some income right now, like after a few months, and my son was a little bit older, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got to do something. And so I started making an income with through a job. And there was all this like negativity in me thinking, oh, but I'm trying to run my business. I shouldn't be going to a job for money and blah, 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 blah. But it's okay. Like there's no definitive answer or way to make things happen. And yes, I'm talking about growing a business and going for a job right now in this episode because it's so relevant to a lot of people right now. A lot of people are losing their work, their main job, and they might need to go to a different job to then build something else up as well at the same time. I think now more than ever, we're seeing that jobs are not secure. In fact, they're probably far less secure than having your own business right now. Having a job, just a casual job to have an income could be something that allows you to sleep better at night. Maybe that's what you need in order to just get through this particular phase while you're building something else up. But if you're able to have a breather, like take a break, I know it's not always possible for some people. And to be honest, the fact that I could have a break while it was the school holidays and I was still getting paid for that, it allowed me that breathing room that I needed. But I felt really privileged to have that. There was a lot of people that had 2 weeks notice before they lost their job, and that was it. And they had no leave. They probably used a lot of their leave through the year. And so I felt really privileged in that, and I understand my privilege in saying that right now. But if you can have some time and take that pressure off, thinking that no matter whether it's about a job or business or whatever, there's so much going in the world today. We don't have to be pushing so hard right now if you are feeling exhausted emotionally, physically, because it is okay to stop and breathe and know that everything happens in the right time. It really does. And ensuring that we're tuning into ourselves, because when we're flustered, when we're stressed, when we're anxious and scared, we often don't tune in, and we're making decisions because we're like, okay, shit, I just need to do something right now. And I know I'm absolutely guilty of that. That's how I can explain this to you, because I've been there, and that fear is so real and so suffocating. But it's about letting go a little bit. I'm not great at that either. And listening into what really needs to happen. I was feeling as though like, oh, okay, got to get blood tests and all these things. There's something wrong with me. Like what's going on? But I realize it's just there's so much going on in the world right now, and it's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel stressed out and anxious, because it's pretty normal right now. So I want you to think about what it is that you need to, what are you trying to achieve right now? Can you take a breather? Do you need to take a breather? Sometimes you don't. You're just on fire right now. And it could be just everything's like just pushing you along and you're just having an amazing time and everything's going really well. Maybe you just need to find ways to re-energize yourself through, for me, it's connecting in nature. Freaking love it. It's the most incredible feeling to just feel grounded in nature. It energizes me and soothes me at the same time. If you've watched any of my social media stories, you will know that's how I feel, and I do that daily. Find what you need. Think about what it is that you need. Listen into what you need and seek support. You know, seeing all of these people at this event that I spoke at on the weekend, seeing all those people come together for me was incredible. Like it was the energy and the spark that I needed to feel connected again, because I'd felt so isolated and so lonely. So if you are feeling that way, find your people, connect with people. That's what we're doing in the Wild Woman Collective, which is my online group. We connect together weekly. We come together weekly online and in person every month. And we are there to cheer you on, support you when things are difficult. And I would love for you to come and join in. If you want more information on the Wild Woman Collective, please send me a message, send me an email. I'll put the links below this video or the links below the show notes of this podcast if you're listening to the audio. And I would love to know, what do you need? What do you need right now? Because that is something that we're all here helping each other. No matter where you stand on everything going on right now, we're all being deeply impacted and we all need to come together, because that's what humans do. We come together as a collective in order to get through the hard times in life, and that's what we're doing right now. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I am always around here on social media, and I'm always going to be popping into your ears through my podcast, so go and check it out. And I'm excited. I'm excited by hearing other people's stories. I'm excited about seeing what other people are creating, and I feel like everything is changing and it's not ever going back to how it was. So what is it looking like? What are we stepping into? And how can we prepare ourselves to really embrace that? So have an amazing day, and I will chat to you tomorrow.